What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of The Shift. It is a regular season preview for Major League Baseball in 2026. Get me excited. I cannot wait. Cannot wait, man. Wednesday night, 8:05, Giants, Yankees. Yankees at Giants, being specific here. New York Yankees traveling to San Francisco to take on the Giants. It'll be Max Fried versus Logan Webb on opening night. Again, 8:05 on Netflix. Kind of, I would say it's not bad. I mean, look, things are going that way, right? That's how, the way of the streaming and everything now. I mean, that's just how things are going. I mean, events are happening on, whether you have Amazon Prime with like Thursday Night Football. I mean, playoff games have been on Amazon Prime. You had some of those Christmas games for football on Netflix. So you have these holiday games with football on Netflix. So this is just the way it is now. So, look, I'm just excited to have baseball back. And in a sense, it has its exclusivity to it with the being on Netflix. So almost a kind of a different excitement there, but obviously excited as ever, man. Cannot wait. Opening night, 8:05 Wednesday, and then we'll get all the rest of the opening day games the next day on Thursday, and I'll tell you the couple of the matchups that I'm looking forward to on Thursday as well. 3 starting pitching matchups that I'm looking forward to, or just matchups in general. But it's all regular season preview today, man. All regular season. We're going predictions. We're going awards predictions. We're going MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. We're doing every division, AL East to the NL West. We're doing everything. And we're predicting the World Series as well. And again, I'll do a short preview for you for opening night for Giants, Yankees, and some of those matchups that I'm looking forward to. But to start here, got to talk storylines. I have 3 storylines for you to watch this year in 2026. And I think there's a lot of good storylines, but these are 3 that stuck out to me in my mind. And maybe I would say one of these is definitely obvious. Maybe the second one not as obvious, or the third one, sorry, not as obvious, but still, we'll see what you think. But first one, fairly obvious. Can the Dodgers three-peat? Can they be the first one? Can they be the first major league team to three-peat since the 98 to the 2000 Yankees? And those teams were fantastic, from Jeter, Posada to Mariano Rivera to Clemens to David Cone to everybody, to those entire teams that were super stacked. Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill. I mean, they were stacked. And they won 3 straight World Series. And this Dodgers team now, 2024, relatively, not as dramatic, to beat the Yankees in 5 games. And last year, you fast forward 1 year later, and the Dodgers in one of the best World Series in recent memory between them and Toronto, and what a great ending that was. I mean, one of the best endings we've ever seen in World Series, in a World Series game, game in general, with Miggy Rowe tying it up, and then Will Smith taking the lead late. A little tougher last year, a little tougher, and obviously a lot of people throughout the offseason calling for change in Major League Baseball. We need a salary cap, this and that, which I don't entirely disagree with. But because they add Kyle Tucker, they add Edwin Diaz, and they fill up, 2 of their biggest holes that, a back-to-back World Series champ. I mean, they have an owner that is willing to spend, and they have a really good GM in front office. And this is just kind of what they do. And, now the Dodgers, they're loaded up to three-peat. Can they be the ones to do it, man? Because let's be real, man. Going into the season, I know and everyone's like, oh well, that they were so close to losing, and it's like, okay, but they still won and they got better again. So and two of these Dodgers teams in the last couple of years have been some of the best teams that we've seen in Major League Baseball in quite some time, maybe since those late 90s Yankees teams. So can the Dodgers be the ones to do it? Can they be the first ones to three-peat since the Yankees? And what team is it going to be, man? What team could it be? Could it be the Blue Jays getting back to the World Series? Could it be Seattle, who's so close last year? Could it be the Tigers, who had a pretty good offseason, adding Framber Valdez? What's going to happen with Tarek Skubal? So could it be the Tigers? Could it be a National League team? Could it be the Phillies? The Phillies have been one of the better teams on paper, but really haven't they haven't gotten back to the World Series since 2022. Can it be the Phillies? Can it be the Mets? Like there's a lot of different ways it could go here, but the Dodgers Dodgers seem like they're primed to go three-peat. Primed to go three-peat, man. I mean, and you're probably going to have Ohtani, and knock on wood, for the betterment of Major League Baseball, you're going to have Ohtani for the entirety of 2026 pitching. And that's almost like, adding another element. I mean, I know he pitched for the back half of 2025, but still, now you're going to get a full year of Shohei Ohtani potentially. They're still going to manage his workload, but still. So can the Dodgers three-peat? So that's storyline number one. That's an obvious one. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Second one, two teams that struggled to get over the hump and win that World Series, and two teams, big market teams, that I think both fan bases look at their offseason and say, didn't do enough, didn't make the splashy additions. Talking about the New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I'm a Phillies fan. I live in the Philadelphia area, so it hits a little different for me. But, here in Philadelphia, bringing back Kyle Schwarber and making some of the additions they made, Adolis Garcia, trading Matt Strahm for Jonathan Bolin, not getting Bo Bichette, extending Jesus Luzardo, Ranger Suarez leaving, not enough in the eyes of a lot of Phillies fans. And myself, I would say the same thing. I wanted them to go out and get a bat, and they didn't bring in Bo Bichette. Didn't necessarily have to be Bichette, but I wanted somebody that was going to make a difference in this lineup, I felt like, and they didn't. And so I gave them about a C+ offseason grade. And it feels like from what I've seen on social media that, Yankees fans kind of feel the same way about their offseason. They bring back Cody Bellinger, trade for Ryan Weathers, don't really do a whole lot, for their team as far as making like splashy additions. But both teams have been really good on paper, have been contenders on paper. And, the Yankees were in the World Series in 2024. The Phillies were in the World Series in 2022. Both teams have been close. Both teams have had, superstar players have big years. Schwarber last year, Judge pretty much every year. Bryce has kind of struggled with injuries, but also, won the MVP back in 2021 and had a great year in 2024. But then last year was a bit of a down-ish year as far as his standards go. So for two teams that, again, I've really just run it back. Will one of these teams get over the hump? Will they take down the Dodgers? And I'm looking at these two teams specifically because they're big market teams where their fan bases are looking for them to contend. Will one of these teams get over the hump? The Phillies or the Yankees? One of these teams. Can either one of them be the team that is going to take down the Dodgers? And I'm talking about over the hump. I'm talking about the World Series. I'm not talking about just for the Phillies getting back to the NLCS, somewhere they haven't been since 2023. For the Yankees, not just getting back to the World Series in 2026, it's winning it. It's winning it. So, and what does that mean for one of, either one of these teams that, or maybe the front offices have been sort of comfortable, running it back? Like, what's going to happen maybe at the end of the season, depending on how the season shapes up and and turns out. So Yankees and Phillies, Yankees or Phillies, can one of these teams that run it back for the most part? Can they be the one? Can one of these teams be the one to get it over the hump? So that's storyline number 2. Number 3, maybe kind of an obvious one, but maybe not at the same time. But Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, I don't know if you know, Ohtani MVP last 3 straight years, Aaron Judge the past 2 years. But when I'm looking at Ohtani and Judge, I did not realize this. Like Ohtani and Judge, first 2 ever to simultaneously win back-to-back MVPs. Never been done before. I figured it had happened at least like a couple of times, and not even once. Like Ohtani and Judge were the first ones to do it. And man, can someone dethrone them MVP wise? Like straight up, can somebody dethrone them MVP wise, or are we going to see them both win 3 straight? And for Ohtani, it would be 4 straight, and that would be, well, I guess the first one since Bonds, because Bonds won 4 straight through from 01 to 04. Can they do it? Can they be the first that did it back to back simultaneously? And it would be incredible for both of them to three-peat simultaneously. Again, I know Ohtani would be 4, but you know what I mean, simultaneously. And honestly, if Judge doesn't get hurt in 2023, man, I mean, he still finished like, I think 15th in MVP voting and played like 106 games, somewhere around there. Like, it's insane. He's like 37 homers. His numbers were still crazy. So, I mean, we could have been talking about both of these guys. Like, I mean, that for Judge, that would be what? That would be 4 straight MVPs if he didn't get hurt. And he would be going for his 5th straight. I mean, absurd. So, can Ohtani and Judge, can they be the ones to go for, those 3 straight MVPs coinciding with each other? So those are my 3 storylines. Can the Dodgers three-peat? Will the Yankees or Phillies get over the hump? And Ohtani and Judge going for their 3rd straight MVP simultaneously. Are we going to see history like we saw last year or this past season? Or last year, I would say this past season. Time just moves so fast. But is it going to happen? Ohtani and Judge, are we going to see that? All right, and that honestly moves straight into awards predictions, transitions right into awards predictions where the meat and potatoes start. And I'm going to start with MVP, man. MVP, National League. And maybe you're going to hate me for these predictions. You might legitimately hate me, and I'm sorry. At the end of the day, I cannot, for the sake of these shows, I can't be, I have some people do it. That's fine. But that's fine. You do you. But for me personally, I can't pick someone for a show just because it's going to be good content. Like, I'm going to give you my honest opinion when it comes to this stuff. So whether it's really great for the episode or the show, or if it's really bad, I don't care. I'm going to give you my honest picks. And again, some of these award prediction picks you might hate. I'm just being real. So, National League. I just, how, at the end of the day, the guy has won has won 3 straight MVPs. And when he is pitching and he's hitting at the same time and doing both things incredibly, it's impossible. I know it's boring. I know I understand it. I get it. It's predictable, but how can I not pick Shohei Ohtani as my National League MVP? And I'm not saying there aren't other guys that could contend for National League MVP. Other guys can have big years. Juan Soto can have another big year. Kyle Schwarber can have another big year hitting almost 60 home runs. Ronald Acuna Jr. might come back and be Ronald Acuna Jr., which we all want. I would love for Acuna to come back and be what he was a couple of years ago when he had 40 homers and stole 70 bases. All of those things could happen. if Shohei Ohtani, especially this year where he's slated to have a normal workload as a starting pitcher, he's our fifth starter, by the way. It's insane. At least Fangraphs has him as his fifth starter. It's unbelievable. Just want to mention that. If he is both pitching and hitting, he is the MVP pick every single year until otherwise. You know? So, I mean, look, Ohtani, unfortunately, struggled with some injury issues early on. And, of course, you never want guys to get injured. But I'm saying, like, the only way that Ohtani, to me, right now, in his prime, doesn't win MVP, or you don't pick him to win MVP, is if he gets hurt. Like, that's it. Like, right now, he's first at bat in the WBC. It's the second one. It's like Grand Slam. I mean, the guy is made for the moment. And he delivers. And especially with Ohtani being, again, slated to pitch this entire season. I mean, didn't look like he, really didn't miss too much of a step last year when he came back and pitched. So Ohtani, National League MVP award prediction, like, no doubt in my mind. And the American League too. I told you you're gonna hate me, but it's what it is. Aaron Judge. The only reason why he didn't win MVP in 2023 was because he got hurt. Let's be real. 37 homers in 106 games. Set the American League home run record the year before. And then the last 2 years, unbelievable. Won the batting title last year. And his OPS is in like the 1400s. It's unbelievable. Like, it's Aaron Judge. Again, it's Aaron Judge. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, again, in my mind, I was like, man, well, this is going to be, I can't just be picking the same guys that have been winning, but I can't not pick Aaron Judge. Bobby Witt, I think, here's my thing. If you want to pick somebody else, that's fine. I'm just telling you, for me personally, Bobby Witt, I don't think is a horrible pick, but I can't go with Bobby Witt going against Aaron Judge, because I think Bobby Witt's a good pick to have a year he had like a couple of years ago where he almost had a 10 WAR and had 30 plus homers and was an incredible shortstop defensively and puts up the stolen base totals he puts up. Bobby Witt, to me, can have a monster season again, and he's not going to win the MVP, just like he did a couple of years ago. To me, right now, Aaron Judge is Barry Bonds 01 to 04 slightly light. Like Barry Bonds light right now from the right side. Okay, no, he's not putting up 550 on base percentage, 600 on base percentages, which is outrageous. He's not hitting 73 homers. I mean, a couple of years ago, 62, it wasn't that far off. But I can't go against Aaron Judge, man. I can't go against Aaron Judge. I can't. It's impossible for me right now to go against Aaron Judge. I just can't. So, National League MVP award, surprise, Shohei Ohtani. American League award, American League MVP award, Aaron Judge, surprise. And the Cy Youngs, you might hate me again. National League, Paul Skeens. I know he just won one Cy Young award so far, but the guy finished third in Cy Young voting his rookie year after making, 23 starts? Paul Skeens, right now, I can't go against Paul Skeens. The kid's 23 years old. As long as he's healthy, I don't see it. Unless someone like, unless someone like Logan Webb just has like his best year and he's a guy that obviously racks up the strikeout totals, the innings totals, stuff like that. Would love to see that. I think Logan Webb, the slightest bit underrated, a little bit, because I still think he's like one of the better pitchers in the National League. Doesn't get talked about enough still to this day. Maybe Christopher Sanchez. I mean, he was close last year. But I can't go against Paul Skeens again. Like, look, Skeens is incredible. He's awesome. I can't go against Paul Skeens, man. I just can't. Well, what he's doing right now, it's literally must-see TV every time he's pitching. That's not the only reason why he should win the Cy Young. I'm just saying it's must-see every time, because he's going to do something spectacular. And he's filthy. He's gross. He's incredible for the game. And as long as he's what he is right now and what he's been for the last couple of years, if he's healthy for 30 to 35 starts, he's winning the Cy Young. American League, another one. I know, Crochet last year led the league in strikeouts. I think led the majors in strikeouts, right? Scooble's, I just gave it away. Crochet is great, and there's other. You got Cole coming back this year, but he's not coming back for a month or two. He's he had his first grapefruit start the other day. That's great. Framber Valdez with Detroit now. There are some great pitchers in the American League, but for a guy that has done what he's done the last 2 years, and by the way, talking about like milestones with Ohtani and Judge simultaneously with the MVPs, Tarek Skubal could be the first American League pitcher ever to win 3 straight Cy Young Awards. 3 straight. And I did not know that. I had to look it up a couple of weeks ago if that had ever happened before. No, Maddox and Randy Johnson did it, but they did it in the National League. Never been done in the American League before. I think Maddox and Randy Johnson both won 4 straight Cy Youngs, which is just absurd. You thought maybe Pedro had done it, but Pedro did back-to-back with Boston in 99 and 2000. Skubal, I don't see Skubal in a contract year, in the year that he's in. I don't see how you're not picking Tarek Skubal. Tarek Skubal, American League Cy Young Award winner. He's big in big games. He's a dog. The emotion he shows, the stuff is gross. Everything's there. Tarek Skubal, I don't know how you can pick against him right now, especially going in the contract year, the type of guy he is. I don't see why he's not going to potentially have the best year of his career. And it's crazy to say that after the last 2 years that he's had. So, Skubal, my American League Cy Young Award pick. Rookie of the Year, National League. Now, I think Connor Griffin might be the favorite right now, but Griffin's going to be starting the year in the minors. Does that make a difference? I don't know. I'm edging out Nolan McLean. Again, that's sort of a predictable one too, but McLean coming off last year where he did have 8 starts and had really good numbers. McLean is my Rookie of the Year pick. McLean is disgusting. He's filthy. We even saw some of it in the World Baseball Classic. I mean, he wasn't perfect or anything like that. But McLean, the Mets are going to need him to be an X factor for the team this year. McLean is my Rookie of the Year award pick for the National League. American League. Now, big picks right now are what? McGonigal, Trey Savage, and you can totally see those. Going Carter Jensen. Carter Jensen, who a small sample size last year, but good numbers in a small sample size. And he's slated and he's ready to take over that spot for Salvador Perez. Now, Fangraphs right now has him as the DH for the team, but I'm feeling a good rookie year for Carter Jensen. Going to pick Carter Jensen as my American League Rookie of the Year award, especially for like the Royals. I think a lot of people are feeling good about the Royals right now coming off the WBC. But Carter Jensen hitting in a pretty good lineup with Pasquantino, Bobby Witt, Michael Garcia, Salvi's still there. To a really good line. I think maybe an underrated lineup. Jonathan India is there as well. I'm going to go Carter Jensen as my American League Rookie of the Year award pick. All right, so those are my awards predictions. Again, I'll just run through them very quickly before we get to division winners. National League, Shohei Ohtani. American League, Aaron Judge. National League, Cy Young, Paul Skeens. American League, Cy Young, Tarek Skubal. Rookie of the Year, National League, Nolan McLean. And then American League, Rookie of the Year award is Carter Jensen. All right, division winners. American League East, going to the Yankees. I do think even though the Yankees didn't make any like huge splashy moves for this offseason, I still like them. And you get the Rodon injury, you're gonna have the Cole injury, but they're still gonna get both of them back. And I still think their rotation's solid enough to hang till they get back with Fried and Schlittler and Ryan Weathers and so forth. So I like the Yankees, especially with their lineup. Love their lineup, and I like their bullpen. I'm taking the Yankees to win the American League East. The Red Sox, I do think maybe because they didn't bring back Bregman and didn't get a big splash like Alonso or bring back Kyle Schwarber. I think maybe people are overlooking their offseason a little bit, but I still wouldn't put the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox could be a playoff team, could be a wild card team, but I'm not gonna say that they're better than the Yankees. I also don't think I think the Orioles had a good offseason and they could be a wild card team, but I'm not putting them above the Yankees. The Blue Jays too. The Blue Jays, man, they lost Bichette, and we'll see what Akamoto is going to be for them. Bring in Dylan Cease. That's a huge move. The Blue Jays are going to be, I think can be a playoff team as well. That American League East is going to be a dogfight, man. Yankees, Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays, and you can never count out the Rays because the Rays kind of always make things work for them. So, but I'm taking the Yankees to win the American League East. American League Central, I think, is always an interesting one. And again, I think the Royals are a really interesting team. The Twins, Twins are rebuilding, I guess. The White Sox, now they had a fun offseason, and I think they got better, but the White Sox aren't ready to contend or anything like that. To me, like they're in the late 70s, maybe 500 type of team. The Royals are right there, man. Royals are good. Royals and Guardians, of course, you can never count out the Guardians because, the Guardians, they, did it last year. So, and they lost they won the division, but more because the Tigers, collapsed. So, but I'm taking the Detroit Tigers. I'm not obsessed with their lineup still. I still think their lineup leaves a little bit to be desired. Their lineup's not bad, but I like their rotation, especially with the addition of Framber Valdez. I think their bullpen's solid. The Tigers do have potential to maybe go to the World Series. And again, a bit of a wide open American League once again. The Tigers have a shot. The Tigers win the American League Central, though. They're not going to do what they did last year and lose the division. I have them winning the division this time around. So I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers to win the American League Central. Going to the AL West. Seattle Mariners. Look, the Astros, I don't know about the Astros, man. I look, Hunter Brown is disgusting. You still have Carlos Correa there that was acquired in a trade that was brought back. Altuve is still there. Isaac Paredes, Jordan, you hope he stays healthy for an entire year. There's some question marks there, though. Christian Javier hasn't really been the same since, a couple of years ago when he helped them win a World Series. Tatsuya Imai, he's going to be a big X factor for them in that rotation. Astros, I don't see the Astros maybe making a comeback. The Rangers, now the Rangers could be one to watch, especially that rotation could be really interesting. The Texas Rangers. Between Eovaldi, who's going to start opening day, DeGrom, Mackenzie Gore, who they made a trade for, Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker are big X factors, I think, for this team, and we'll see. I would love for them to make some progress this year. And their lineup is still, they traded Semien, bringing Brandon Nimmo, Langford there is hitting second, Seager, Berger, Josh Smith, Josh Young, Peterson. It's an okay lineup that can be really good. Yeah, I'm going Seattle, and Seattle's maybe their lineup I'm not in love with. The lineup's good, but their lineup's not like overwhelming. Their rotation's still incredible. Like it feels like as always. Their bullpen's good, and I'm taking the Mariners though. As far as these divisions go, I'm going AL West. I'm going the Seattle Mariners. All right, National League East. Going to be a homer. Going to be biased, and I'm going Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies are the National League East champions for the third straight year. Spencer Strider just went on the IL to start the year, or started the IL with the strained oblique. Start the year for the Braves. The injuries. The Braves would be a popular bounce back pick, but the Braves are having a lot of injuries to start. Man, Hurston Waldrop, Smith Shawver, swelling back. Like these guys are hurt, man. These guys are hurt. I feel like one of those guys I'm getting wrong that isn't hurt, but I mean, their rotation just it's. I mean, right now it's Sale, Reynaldo Lopez, Grant Holmes, Bryce Elder, Jose Suarez. Reynaldo Lopez struggled with injuries last year. Sale, same thing. You'd love to see Sale get back to where he was a couple of years ago when he won his first Cy Young of his career. And the Braves, I like their bullpen. And I think their offense right now, there's some question marks. Mike Yastrzemski's going to be hitting fifth in that lineup. Austin Riley down year. Matt Olson, still good. Drake Baldwin wins Rookie of the Year. Acuna, can he come back and be, Acuna of old before the injuries? Michael Harris has been kind of underwhelming. They have I think an okay lineup to me right now with the potential of being really good if all those guys can come back, like Acuna come back, Michael Harris can come back, Albies, Austin Riley has a chance for the Braves to be a really good team. Their ceiling, depending on health and if their lineup is really good, like it was a couple of years ago, it doesn't have to be like historically good like it was in 2023. But if, they're somewhat close to that, I mean, maybe they could win this division, but the Braves are, there's just too many question marks for me there. Mets, again, too many question marks for me. I like Peralta, them bringing him in. I think they had an interesting offseason as far as who they brought in lineup-wise, like bringing Jorge Polanco, bringing in Bo Bichette, bringing in Luis Robert. Those guys are going to be, okay, how can they contribute offensively? But, again, too many question marks there. Luis Robert hasn't been the same, before a couple of years before that. Ken Polanco and Bichette, you lose Alonso, you lose Nimmo, you bring in Semien. So what can their lineup really do? And then Edwin Diaz isn't back. They did bring in Devin Williams. There's too many question marks there. I got the Phillies winning like 3 games and winning that division. That's what I have the Philadelphia Phillies doing to win that division, 93 wins. And we'll see. So I got the Phillies winning that division. National League Central, I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think the Hunter Green injury hurts the Reds. I think the Reds could be a wild card team again, potentially. But that Green injury hurts, like I said. I think it's going to be a dogfight between the Cubs and the Brewers. And I just look at the Brewers rotation. You're headlined by Freddie Peralta, which it has been for the last couple of years, especially since he lost Corbin Burns, but he's been so consistent for them since he was with the Brewers. Now he's with the Mets. Can the Brewers go out and win this division once again? 97 games last year, and that was the most in Major League Baseball. Just too much there, too much like youth in that rotation. You're bringing in Brandon Sproat. Now you have Chad Patrick there. The rotation was good last year. And now without Peralta, it's Mizorowski, big X factor for them. The Brewers seem like they always find a way to get in the playoffs somehow or win the division. I like the Cubs, though. I like the Cubs, but not because they had this tremendous offseason. I think they had a good offseason bringing in Bregman, trading for Edward Cabrera. I like the Cubs offseason, but it's not like it's a completely stacked division. It's crazy to say that after the Brewers won these 7 games last year. It's not like, I can see the winner of this division winning somewhere between 89 to 92 games, 91 games, somewhere around that. And I'm going to take the Cubs to do it. You're going to get back. I like that rotation as it stands right now. Boyd, Cade Horton, Shota Imanaga, Edward Cabrera, Jameson Taillon. I like those guys in that rotation. So, and then PCA right there in the middle of the lineup, Bregman, Bush, Happ, Nico Horner, Carson Kelly, who had a good year last year. And they don't have a perfect team either. I don't think their offense is perfect. I don't think their bullpen's perfect or anything like that. But I would take the Cubs over the Milwaukee Brewers right now, I think. And I think it's going to be a dogfight until the last week of the season between the Cubs and Brewers. So that's why I have the win in the NL Central is the Cubs. NL West, do I really have to elaborate too much on it? It's the LA Dodgers. I don't know how. I think you'd be borderline just not smart to not pick the LA Dodgers right now, just as we're laying out how the season's going to go. I just don't see how you don't pick the LA Dodgers to win the division. So Dodgers win the division. And I just don't see how it's particularly close. I know the Dodgers won 93 games last year, and I know they had a lot of injuries, but as they're going into this year, I would bank on them not winning 93 games again. I bank on them winning 100 plus. So, and I think if they had won a lot more games last year and stayed healthier, I think we'd be talking about them, predicting them to win 117 games and break the Mariners record. So I don't know, man, but I got the Dodgers beating I got the Dodgers winning the National League West. And I almost said my World Series prediction there, and now I'm going to say it. So World Series prediction time. Thought it was pretty easy who the National League representative was going to be. It was going to be LA Dodgers. It was going to be no doubt. The American League one was tough, though. I really had to think about it. I really had to think who was going to win the American League this year, because I think there's a good amount of teams in the mix that have a chance. You can't count out the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are a really good team, and the Yankees are a really good team. I think the Tigers have a shot. I think the Mariners have a shot. And it's probably 4 or 5 teams there. I'm going to go with the New York Yankees just because I think the Yankees, with the addition of Cole and Rodon midseason, and I think with how much I like their lineup, and with and with them being in the World Series 2 years ago, I'm going to take them. And I think for teams like the Mariners and the Blue Jays, maybe it hurts how close those teams were, respectively, with the Blue Jays being, so close last year in Game 7. And then with the Mariners getting to Game 7 and losing to the Blue Jays, I think it's going to hurt those teams. Maybe it hurts them mentally. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter to players and teams, but I don't know. I think that's going to hurt them. And I think the Yankees, maybe them having, maybe not a splashy offseason, maybe that's going to be overlooked. And the Yankees, with the additions of Cole and Rodon midseason, I think that is going to be beneficial to them. And so I'm going to take the New York Yankees in the World Series for the American League. And who do I have winning? What a surprise. I'm going to have this a repeat of 2024, except I'm going to have this going a game further. I'm going to have the Dodgers beating the New York Yankees 4-2. And so I have the Dodgers over the Yankees 4-2. Again, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you listen to the pod and you're like, you wanted some crazy, just out of the box predictions for the World Series, for the awards predictions. I'm sorry. I just got to be honest with you. This is honesty. It's a podcast of just honesty. So the Dodgers beat the Yankees in 6 games. And what a surprise. Dodgers beat the Yankees 6 games. But I would love to know your thoughts at Rojas_media_ on Twitter. Tell me who you got winning the World Series, who you got one of these divisions, all that good stuff. Let me know. All right. Last thing before we get out of here. Opening night preview. Again, Yankees at Giants. Just a reminder, 8:05 on Wednesday night will be on Netflix. Starting pitching matchup will be Max Fried versus Logan Webb. I can't wait, man. I mean, I wonder how many people are going to be locked in on Netflix. I mean, those WBC ratings were fantastic. They were so great, so great for the sport. I wonder if it's almost is it a win for it to be on Netflix for opening night to be on Netflix? Not that everyone's going to be locked into opening night. No, I'm talking about casual fan. I'm talking about trying to bring in new fans. I don't know, but if they're going to be watching Yankees Giants, I know we're all going to be watching it though. Yankees Giants 8:05 on Netflix. I cannot wait. So it'll be Max Fried on the mound for the New York Yankees. Did a great year for New York last year, and Logan Webb, who again has been one of the more consistent National League pitchers and pitchers overall, really just innings eater, strikeout, machine, has one of the best sinkers in the game. Logan Webb is gross. So I'm looking forward to it. Yankees, Giants on Wednesday night at 8:05. All right, 3 opening day matchups to watch. Not some super hot, sexy ones, but going 3 here. Pirates at the Mets. I think we're all looking forward to seeing how Freddie Peralta is going to look in a New York Mets uniform. So Peralta for the Mets, and then on the mound for the Pirates, it's Paul Skeens. The Pirates had, I think, I would say a good offseason. They had a pretty good offseason, considering they said, I mean, they talked, they walked the walk, talked the talk, whatever freaking saying goes, and they did it. They brought in Brandon Lau, brought in Marcelo Zuna, brought in Ryan O'Hearn. Who else am I missing? Bringing Gregory Soto. I don't know who else I'm missing right now, but I think I highlighted a good amount here. So Pirates are going to be an exciting team to watch. And of course, with Paul Skeens on the mound, of course, you're going to be watching Pirates at the Mets just because of that matchup. Peralta and his new Mets threads, and then Skeens, of course, and the Pirates after having a pretty good offseason. Twins at Orioles. For the Twins, I know, not like going to be a super fun team to watch this year, but Joe Ryan on the mound for the Twins. He might be a popular trade candidate this season. He is going to be on the mound for the Twins. I love Joe Ryan. He's filthy as well. Going up against Trevor Rogers and the Orioles. And the Orioles had, I would say, a pretty good offseason. Bringing in Pete Alonso, bringing in Taylor Ward, but that trade was still kind of weird with the whole Grayson thing. Bringing Shane Baz, they trade for him. So the Orioles are going to be, I think, they're going to be a team to watch this year because they did not have a quiet offseason. They did bring in, big splashes and also brought in Chris Bassett. So get the big Alonso deal. So Twins Orioles, I think it's going to be one to watch. Trevor Rogers, as long as he can stay healthy, he's been really good. Red Sox at Reds is my last one. Red Sox at Reds. Red Sox, because you get Crochet on the mound. Went off the big WBC he had, hitting some big home runs. And the Red Sox are still a fun team to watch. They didn't bring back Bregman or, maybe necessarily fill the void, but still a good team to watch. There were Rafaela, Duran, Willie Abreu, who just won a WBC title with Venezuela. Trevor Story, hopefully he can stay healthy. Marcelo Meyer was just named the second baseman for the Red Sox this year, but Crochet, looking forward to this matchup against the Reds, which can be Andrew Abbott on the mound, and the Reds, who didn't go out and get Kyle Schwarber, but still have a pretty good team, and I think it'll be a wild card team. So, all right, that will do it for another episode of The Shift. This was the MLB regular season preview for 2026. Let me know everything that we talked about, every award prediction, Cy Young, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Division, World Series. Well, what you're looking forward to on opening day, how you feel about opening night being on Netflix, storylines to watch, everything that I talked about. Follow The Shift on every social media platform that there is. So that will do it for me, Francisco Rojas. I'll talk to you guys soon later this week when opening day has been wrapped up, maybe opening weekend. Be back with some video and pod content. So stay tuned for that. Talk to you guys soon.